How's everyone doing? Welcome to the final episode of After the After Hours with your boy TraderPrad. The final day of this week. Is tomorrow going to be a free fall Friday? Now get ready for tomorrow. Powell going on the microphone. Powell going on the microphone again. Get ready for tomorrow. So I do have a watch list ready, but if you guys are ready, hit that like and subscribe. Hit that like and subscribe. Thank you guys for all the love. Thank you guys for all the support. This is your boy TraderPrad. But if you guys are ready for this show to get started, why don't we dive into the full screen and hit that like and subscribe. Yo, what is up, chat? What are we looking at on this market at the moment? Some wild after hour moves here today going on. Shout out to your boy Trump, shout out to NVDA, shout out to the court, all kinds of craziness. But what's going on with my webcam? Hold up, let me fix this webcam real quick. Something's wrong with the colors over here. I guess not. I guess everything's okay with the colors. For some reason, it feels like it's extra red today. My face is really dark, but that could just be the lack of extra other lights in my room. There used to be a face light here, but I don't have a face light going on anymore. So I don't know. It just feels like a lot darker than usual. Anyways. Boy, oh boy, what a wild after hours session. Market today overall did pull back to start the day. We pulled back and then we started off basically the day red. Some large cap stocks were actually looking pretty decent. Like Tesla's was going up off the open. I think Meta was running off the open. So some stocks were still looking good. It's darker red, right? Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on with the camera today, but the camera settings did not want to update. Boy, oh boy, what is going on downstairs in my house? I don't know if you guys can pick up all this extra noise going on downstairs, but what I did hear is my dad talking to my brother about, you know, how the court ruling for Trump. My dad's very excited. My dad's very happy that this court ruling has come out in favor for his positions. Basically, he is very anti-Trump. He thinks Trump's stupid. He hates how Trump caused the market to go to the downside, but he's not able to appreciate the beauty, right? Because of Trump, because of his awesomeness, because of him, we got this opportunity to buy the market at a way lower price instead of having to buy the market at high prices. So why would you hate a man like this, right? Let's actually go to the full screen over here on the mainstream. So why would you hate a man who gives you opportunity like this? You know, not really. Hate's not hate's not the word I should be using, but it's just dislike. Overall, a lot of people kind of have that same sentiment. But if you go over here in the after hours, boy oh boy, some of this move coming in with the NVDA earnings report, and the rest of that move coming in with that court ruling coming in today. So lots of excitement. I think tomorrow it's basically RIP to the shorts. I was expecting the market to take at least till June, July to get into all-time highs, but now we are only 2.5% from all-time highs. $3 away from 600 on the S&P 500. So I mean, this is crazy territories at the moment where all things are system go, and you know, you just want to put things aside and focus on your trade tomorrow. If you're a day trader, if you're a swing trader, a lot of your positions might be in the money by quite a bit, and it's going to be time to start thinking about how to manage your positions. So you know, it'll be interesting to see how the overnight market plays out. One of my buddies, actually, let me message him real quick. Lots of craziness expected from this court ruling, I guess. Good luck on the BL market, brother. Make that paper. And what the hell is going on in my house? My house is so loud downstairs at the moment. My brother is screaming. He's getting my dog excited. My niece is screaming. My dad's screaming. Everyone's going nuts at the moment. Absolutely nuts. And I'm having FOMO that I have to sit here and talk to two viewers about how you know, some stocks are gonna go up. So if you do want to see your boy getting more viewage and not just, you know, talking to the same two people such as John, TH, and Dieter all day, hit that like, ladies and gentlemen. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, and share it with your friends and family. Let's dive into the market. Let's start with talking about my trades on the day, and then we'll go into reading the earnings reports, reading the reading the charts, and looking for how possibly we could trade the market tomorrow. Starting with my trades on the day here, we go with Box. Box was a name that we talked about actually yesterday on stream. If you were watching me yesterday, you would have seen how I was planning the trade for this, and it basically played out in that same idea, looking for the stock to hold above 36, above the previous all-time high, and it did exactly that, giving you a monster long opportunity. Much later, it gave you a little breakout also through the high a day. If you were interested in that, to look for a second leg, I was interested. It did give you a second leg, but sadly no follow through on that, and then pushes right back down, but still gives you a big 18% move from previous day close. You know, the stock basically gives you a nice opening range breakout at one point, also gives you a VWAP bounce at one point. So lots of setups that you could have applied to look for this long. It was a very slow mover, didn't have to worry about it at all, didn't really go against me either, but I did get worried a little bit over here because I felt like I had way too much size, and had this gone against me, I would have taken a decent loss on this trade. So I was a little worried because of that. But overall, the big picture thesis was the exact same idea from last night's stream, and we'll have more like this tonight, so stay tuned if you're interested to see what type of opportunities I'm able to scan for you guys, mainly for myself, but scan for you guys on the market. BOX, my best trade of the day. Second best trade of the day, AVGO. I guess you could say some front running was happening for the semiconductor market. ARM, without any real news catalyst, brought in a lot of volume. You can see how it actually brought in most volume at the high day break over there, and had a pretty good run up to the north side. And even on the daily chart, you can see how it pushed into, if you actually go to one of my other layouts that has the moving averages, ARM actually pushes right back into the 200-day moving average, and a little bit higher than the 200-day moving average too, and right into the range box high. So almost like you know, a little bit of a front running the earnings report from NVIDIA was kind of taking place, and people wanted to position themselves in ARM and AVGO kind of to protect themselves from taking too much of a hit in case you know, NVIDIA earnings report does end up being negative. I guess that's just my speculation. I'm not saying that's exactly how it played out, but one thing I noticed after ARM making that run up to the north side is how AVGO was creating some sort of I guess you could call this a flag on the 5-minute, right? Lots of back and forth, holding the 21 EMA, and then basically giving you a breakout opportunity right above that little consolidation high, and a nice little long opportunity. I actually took that long also on my swing account, so took it on my swing account. And you know, the NVIDIA earnings report, I was a little worried over here because Trump came out and said ban China sales again for all US made chips. He also said you know, I think some other catalysts also came in. It kind of was trying to disrupt the semiconductor space for a little bit, but thankfully AVGO didn't really get hurt too much at all. And then NVIDIA earnings reports coming in and helping out the semiconductor sector. So now AVGO is at almost back to its all-time high. AVGO all-time high is basically 250, and over here in the after hours, we're basically at 248 with how NVIDIA's earnings reports move is going on. If NVIDIA starts to squeeze higher, I wouldn't be surprised if this little double top over here, you could maybe even call it a triple top. I probably wouldn't, but anyways, doesn't matter what you call it, we are possibly breaking that all-time high tomorrow and charging to the north side. So I am just very, very excited to see what's going on this news catalyst, on this new bull run that the market's on. If you are a short seller, example Michael Burry, I believe he basically closed all of his positions recently and flipped short. You know, you are not going to like what you're watching here on the market. You're watching a complete opposite for the short sellers. But if you are a bull and you bought the market somewhere on these dips to the downside, or even positioned yourself right as the market got back above the 200-day moving average, which is something I've been kind of talking to you guys about, you know, positioning yourself in stocks once they look much better. So NVIDIA, thankfully I had some shares before the earnings report. I also had AVGO before the earnings report. So taking advantage of this move now, letting my money work for me instead of my money just collecting dust, and you know, some old banker in RBC is actually able to use my money and triple it and quadruple it and not actually give me a single penny off that, right? Because that's what they're doing at the end of the day when you're putting your money in the bank. They're using it without telling you, and they just give you a simple IOU paper, which is basically an online web page, right? Web page, web paper. Think about it. Conspiracies aside, you know, using your money to make money for you, and this is how you look for these awesome setups. I mean, Tesla, that's gonna be a monster move. Tesla basically went right back into high a day in the after hours, negating that whole move to the downside. Thankfully, I didn't get shaken out. No paper hands over here, bag holding my long positions and watching the market just boom to the north side. So loving my positions, trailing them to the moving averages, and watching things play out in a beautiful symphony. Coming back to the day trade, I got sidetracked with AVGO and the swing account really quick. Coming back to the day trade trades anyways, AVGO monster long opportunity as people possibly front running again, as I'm speculating on that, taking up exit over here into the day's high, I guess, for a quick little profit. But based on how much size I had, potentially taking out way too much size over here. One thing also to note is, especially over here, when the stock does go into kind of the day's high and then pops right back up, there's no reason to still have that profit order. This is kind of basically confirming that hey, the trend is still in your favor and the stock is still going up and up and up. So if you apply basic trail methodologies like 2-minute trail, 5-minute trail, let's actually go to a better chart, 2-minute trail, 5-minute trail. I mean, if you trailed 5-minute bars after that breakout, you're basically not getting out until here, which is where my last exit was anyways, right? So you would have gotten a way bigger piece of the move, and with a lot better share size also. So just something to keep an eye out for. Sometimes I get lazy and I just do things because I don't want to have to over manage a position, so things like that do screw you out of a profit. So you got to be careful when doing things like that, but still a good trade at the end of the day. Pinduoduo, this one stings a lot. You know, the market never fails at making you feel like an absolute idiot, and Pinduoduo did that to me today. Kind of put me on tilt a little bit, honestly. Sucks to be short and being down on the symbol. Not red on the day, I'm green on the day, but you know, I was short Pinduoduo. This is a day 2 trade, looking for a day 2 continuation. Very simple idea. If the stock is going to stay below $100, I want to look for the day 2 short. It did that right off the open. Waited for the stock to sell off below 100. It pops into the 100 area, not able to show me a single print above 100. And as the VWAP is basically getting pulled down, okay, you're telling me I can basically risk 20 cents for almost $1 per share move. Let's do it. So I'm short, risking about 20 cents or so, and realistically I was risking 50 cents. My stop was at 100.5051, which never had to worry about, never went there. Immediately drops the $1 per share, taking some profits. Perhaps I held a little too much back against me, trying to get back into the trade over here and see if there is a bigger move down. But what I'm not recognizing is what is against me over here is the fact that the stock just basically had a V-shaped recovery, bounce right back to VWAP. You had a pretty good sell move to the downside. Yeah, sellers were in power for this original move, but then buyers stepped right back in, right back above some of the more important levels from yesterday, which was day 1, and now you know, sellers are no longer in power. Now you have a fight. Now you have a box between $100 and $99, a fight going back and forth. No reason to take all of these trades over here at number 2. You know, it's very rare that when you have a bounce like that, the stock immediately goes right back to the downside and then continues going lower. It's very rare it does that. So after something like this, you know, you could just let it settle, let it figure out what you want to do. Another thing that I actually noticed is the stock was on SSR. But something that I was looking to do is these trend lines. So I drew different trend lines on the stock based on different lows. So you can see how from that to that low, from that to that low, and from that to that low. So I had these different trend lines, and one thing was fairly obvious was we are simply not able to get above the 100 area and stay above 100. So taking that trend line breakdown was a great spot to get short, and also that happens with some volume too. So that is kind of what you want to look for. And yesterday I was talking to you guys about how this has been one of my most profitable trading setups recently. Just look for a stock that's in play, look for it to pull back to VWAP, have your trend lines drawn out and just basically take the trend line breakdown or the trend line breakout and enjoy the ride to the downside or the upside, and basic continuation trend trade, right? No complexity to it. It's just basic trade. There are some nuances to it that you're gonna have to figure out the more you trade it yourself, but just an idea for you to keep an eye out for. So Pinduoduo did exactly that. I was lucky enough to get some shares just before that break happens, and I was looking to add on that break, but because it was SSR, I didn't get filled on that break. Much later over here, when I had a little bit of a minute, smaller pattern to look for that continuation, I added, but that one didn't have any follow through, so I should have basically cut the size from that trade right there, and I should have still had the original size to the original stop. Instead, what I did over here was I put my stop to VWAP. I said, you know, after this type of a move, it should not even go to VWAP. I basically predicted like what should happen, but it didn't happen that way. It went to VWAP. I was too uncomfortable to even hold it against me to a little bit above VWAP, so basically had a break even stop, and I got triggered on that break even stop. Was too tilted at that moment to look for a trade to get back into that trade, so possibly a good thing that I didn't get, you know, tilt my way back in, because had I lost again, that would have absolutely pissed me off for sure. Taking an attempt over here, there was a small little bottom right before 99. This was 99.10, so taking some size before 99 even breaks, trying to front run the level a little bit. Doesn't have any follow through. It bounces off of 99. We're back into 99.10, and now it's bouncing off of 99.10. So I'm like, okay, screw this. Why am I even bothering with this? Let me just get out and then just wait for 99 to actually break. Sadly, 99 breaks. It's SSR. I now get fully tilted on this name that, hey, this was my idea, my best idea on the day besides BOX. You know, and for me to be red on this name, I'm not even gonna bother looking at it. Screw this stock. I don't want to look at it. And that was the final decision that I made on this name, and that was the worst decision I could have done, because there was this little range over here. When you're looking for a breakdown or a breakout, you always want to look for you know, sellers to sell below that level or buyers to buy above that level. That's the idea of the breakout or the breakdown trade. What happens over here? You see how the stock pops, but then on the pop, it's not able to now get above 99.80, 99.75, whatever that little range high is. So not able to get above that. That's basically showing you the sellers are now moving their orders lower, and this is a more of a confirmed short now. You can basically get short in this area and risk a move back above 99 for that bigger drop to the downside, and me being tilted and deciding not wanting to focus on this name anymore made me miss a big move. So big L on my forehead for Pinduoduo today. Should have been my best trade of the day, and then Box should have been my second best trade of the day, at which point you guys don't even see me talk about AVGO. But no, instead Pinduoduo is my first worst trade of the day, and the second worst trade of the day is SGN. Very simple trade. I mean, you guys know my setup over here. It's the pre-market high failed breakout setup. This is exactly what happens, but sadly the cost to borrow for the shorts on this name were pretty expensive, so I didn't want to pay for the shorts. Instead, I was like, okay, you know what, let's look for the short squeeze. Let's see if some of the shorts get burnt, and we got a nice pop run to the north side. Sadly, no follow through. A monkey trade, you know, risking 20 cents to see if there could be an explosive move to the upside with halts and all kinds of fun stuff. I'm okay with this trade 90% 99% of the time. But more importantly, the better trade was my playbook trade, which is look for the failed breakout of the pre-market high. Stock does exactly that. It runs through pre-market high, not able to stay above it, gets right back below. Right where I got stopped out is usually where I would be entering short, and you would have a move right into a halt and then a move much lower after that. So you know, sometimes your playbook trades are the best ones, and you try to get too cute, and this is what happens. So my worst trade of the day, SGN. That, ladies and gentlemen, my best and my worst 4 trades right there. Sadly, I think the center point guy is still on vacation. I'm not sure if he is. Let's go check if he has posted something yet. No, still on vacation, or possibly something to do with Traders for a Cause. So no center point tweets for quite some time, but some things that, you know, we don't really need center point tweets for tonight or for tomorrow, because watch list is fairly obvious at this point. It is looking to see what's going on with all the tariff names, looking to see what's happening with semiconductor names, looking to see what's happening with the earnings names. There's a lot of names that reported earnings today after hours. So I'm gonna quickly try to skim through them. We could even use my good new awesome tool over at Traders Insight. So if you guys are interested in this awesome tool, click on the link in the description below to get 15% off. Let's actually go see what they have to say about NVDA. But I also want to use Benzinga, which is also a sponsor. Their link is also in the description below. Check out Benzinga, which is an awesome news tool. What is this? Neutral, 7 out of 10 for the NVIDIA earnings report. Okay, up 12%, up 69% from a year ago. Giggity. NVIDIA incurred 4.5 billion charge due to new U.S. government exporting license requirement for its H20 products. Jensen Huang mentioned a full-scale production of the Blackwell AI supercomputer and strong global demand for its NVIDIA infrastructure. I read somewhere that I guess I shouldn't say somewhere, we all know where. I read it on Twitter that Jensen Huang said it is the age of AI. So that's actually a bold statement if you think about it, because first you had what the industrial age, or the industrial era, or whatever you want to call it. I almost have to tap my way into Age of Empires and Rise of Nations to kind of think about all the changes in the ages. So, you know, whatever the industrial age, the mechanical age, the steam age, you know, all those ages that the evolutions that we went through. Then you had the information age, which was, I guess, the last age, and now we are in the AI age, or I guess the final stage of humanity, right? What everyone's scared of. So the golden era, the era of AI, now begins. I guess, at least according to Jensen Huang, the god of the stock market, the ruler of the stock market at this point, which is pretty awesome if you ask me. You know, I'm a pretty big fan of AI. Also, another cool fact is apparently every newborn kid in Saudi Arabia will be having access to AI. That's awesome. You know, ChatGPT will be given to you free if you were born in Dubai or Saudi Arabia or something like that. That's freaking dope. Let's go. I wish I'm Saudi at this point, baby. The Arab money. But I guess that's what that's part of the deal, right? They are spending so much money into building an AI infrastructure, into pumping money into OpenAI, into NVIDIA, and so on. So yeah, I guess that's part of the deal, right? I guess I wonder if there's like a loophole somewhere down the road where you can start scamming Saudi Arabian emails to open free ChatGPT accounts and so on. That'd be even interesting. Okay. NVIDIA, let's take a quick little scan at their report. We have a lot of stocks to read on the earnings report today, so I'm going to be very quick and skimming through it. I'm not going to read all of it. For the most part, you can see how they are growing on every single aspect. Year over year is just all pluses: automotive, professional, gaming, data center. Quarter over quarter is for the most part growth on all of it, except for one thing: automotive is down by 1%, and professional visualization is flat. What's next? Second quarter revenue 45 billion plus or minus 2%. Guidance includes the loss of 8 billion for the next the whole China import things that they're gonna get tagged with. Company is guiding gross margin of between 71 to 72%. Our breakthrough Blackwell, okay. AI inference token generation has surged, what the heck, tenfold in just 1 year. And as AI agents become mainstream, the demand for AI computing will accelerate. Countries around the world are recognizing AI as essential infrastructure, just like electricity and internet. So I mean, that's a pretty big statement if you think about it, and probably not wrong. So more and more countries will look to build their own AIs, but what do they need? NVIDIA chips, right? So NVIDIA is basically not very soon going to be the most valuable company out there in the world, and I wouldn't doubt saying that statement at all, man. I mean, I'm gonna stand behind that statement. That's a monster statement. Yes, when you have giants like Google, Microsoft, and I wouldn't say Apple anymore. Apple's not really that big of a giant anymore. But I wouldn't be surprised if NVIDIA eventually becomes the most valuable publicly traded company in the world. This is a monster company. This 69%, let's just round it up to 70% growth year over year is humongous for a $1 trillion company. Is it what, 2 trillion? What is it, 2.5 trillion actually? NVIDIA, what is NVIDIA at? 3.2 trillion. Never mind, 3.29 trillion. And what is Apple at now? Apple dropped. Oh baby. So it is now potentially the, oh no, Microsoft is the highest market cap. Oh boy. NVIDIA and Microsoft about to duke it out for the highest market cap stock out there in the market. And I wouldn't be surprised if they are able to, claim that throne tomorrow. I wouldn't be surprised if NVIDIA claims that throne, becomes the king in the castle. King in the castle, king in the castle, and starts having some monster moves. I mean, if you're an NVIDIA's employee, oh boy, and you have stocks vested in NVIDIA, oh boy, you're loving it. I'm loving it. Continuing down the earnings report, I guess, no, not continuing down the earnings report. Quickly now going through the stock's move overall. NVIDIA daily chart, deleting some of the old drawings I have. I mean, we are already above these lines that I'm going to put up, so it doesn't really matter anymore, I guess. But just gonna have them up anyways. Who cares? Let's have these lines up out here anyways. Bang, bang, bang. There's another one. Maybe if you do want to throw another one here. Now let's go to the 5-minute chart and see which one we're under. We're under the first one, so we're under the first line. So that's this one, and I didn't really want to put this one, but I'm just gonna leave that one for now. And then you have the all-time high area. So a couple tops to keep an eye out for. Previous resistances potentially could turn into resistance again, or at least some point of a barrier where the stock has some trouble. But no trouble through these zones is just all systems go. So this is a possibility. This is a possibility. Basically, that means I'm looking to get long on dips if we are holding above the first white line that I have drawn out there. There's also this. Right, if you have this, then look to get long on the dips, or look to get long on the breakout of that white line for the move to the north side. So overall, pretty bullish chart. It did look a little scary around this area when I was watching it on my way back home, but then the conference call just kind of made everything a lot more bullish, and overall the market sentiment at the moment is overall very bullish. So just RIP shorts. So we might just have a monster short squeeze tomorrow. Might be time to take a lot of profits tomorrow if you are in stocks, and you know, thank Trump for a beautiful dip buy opportunity. That's all you can do. Have you thanked your president yet? Have you thanked your president yet? Let's quickly go to my watch list over here, show you guys the rest of the stocks. I know you guys already know what stocks are up there, but yeah, NVIDIA, don't really think I'm gonna put any levels on watch at the moment, other than the fact that, you know, it's a purple name. It's the most highest priority name tomorrow. If you're not interested to trade a stock of that high of a price, you have NVDL. NVDL is a leverage ETF and actually has decent size traded on it. 21 million shares for a $57 stock. You can trade NVDL instead. So keep an eye out for this one. This one's still under its 200-day moving average, which is actually pretty surprising. Very similar to like TSLL, which is just now getting above its 200-day, whereas Tesla was already above its 200-day. Anyways, NVDL, for those of you who are interested for that move. CRM is the next stock on the watch list for us to keep an eye out for. TH mentioned an interesting comment. TH said the Fed has to cut rates in 2025, which will be awesome, obviously. If they cut rates, and then I think there is no stopping the market. It's just straight more upside. But right now, with the way we're going, it's pretty damn bullish already. With the court ruling, I think everyone's kind of seeing that as a very bullish sentiment. So we'll see what ends up playing out. Only thing that matters to me, however, is how does the market react to the NVIDIA report, because I'm just going to be day trading it, and we're going to obviously get a gap up tomorrow, so I'm going to take some profits. That's the only thing that I care about. If we do pop up and then sell back down, guess what? More opportunity to dip buy for me as a newborn swing trader, and absolutely loving it. My account is absolutely slaying right now, and the swing account is looking great. Honestly, the swing account is doing way better than the day trade, which is, I guess, not that big of a surprise. But you know, I'm slaying, baby. I'm slaying. Okay, CRM is, where is it? Where the hell is this report? I guess that's all I get. Wow, okay. That's actually not all you get. There we go. CRM reported 9.83 billion versus 9.75, reported 2.58 versus 2.55. Same period last year, grew 8% overall. Operating margin 19.8%, 32.3% on adjusted basis. Cash flow up 4%. Salesforce repurchased 2.7 billion worth of its stock. Company has said approximately 10.93 billion in cash and equivalents. Outlook expects second quarter revenue to be in the range of 10.1 to 10.16 versus 10.01, so above estimates. Company anticipates second quarter adjusted earnings to be 1.8 to 1.82 versus 1.71, also above estimates. Full year guidance 41 billion to 41.3 versus 40.83, above also. 7.47 bucks a year, let's go. 7.15 to 7.21 versus 7.24. so that's the first real miss that we're kind of seeing over here on the full year. Adjusted their full year EPS to a little bit lower than what the estimates are, but still decent, not like absolutely horrible and they need to cry about it. And hold up, I need to quickly fix this screen for the vertical boys. The vertical boys need to actually head over to the mainstream on YouTube to catch the full view, actually, because that's where you're gonna get the full experience. But if you enjoy the vertical view, then obviously you're more than welcome to stay there. Okay, you're more than welcome to stay there, but I'm just telling you, you're gonna get a better experience by going through the full screen. Okay. CRM, initial getting a pop, later getting sold off. I'm guessing that sell-off has to do with potentially the miss on the full year EPS. But later on, I mean, moving right back up, then this is what I would expect from the stock overall. So nice earnings report. Let's go quickly check what the PE is of CRM. What is the PE of CRM? It is 43, not ridiculously high. We've seen some stock yesterday. I can't even remember what stock it was with the ridiculous PE. But this one's not bad. 40. CRM is also one of the bigger companies out there. Salesforce, I'm pretty sure a lot of people use it within their own companies. If for some of you guys in chat, probably use it in your companies and so on. So nice move, but I guess that's pretty much nothing burger, a failed move overall, right? As the market's pushing into the 200-day move, market's pushing into all-time highs, you are still below the 200-day, and you tried to get above today's high, and you basically got stuffed back into today's range. You could say as long as the stock is above today's high, there is some sort of a trade here that you could take advantage of for a move back into this after-hour highs. But with the way the stock is trading right now, and given the overall market sentiment, I mean, look at the S&P 500 in the after hours at the moment. Look at the QQQ in the after hours. This is what the market's doing, and this is what the stock we're talking about is doing. So is that really, the most exciting thing that you want to be watching out for as a day trade, as a swing trade, especially as a swing trade? The stock is below the 200-day moving average. It does not even want to pop into its 200-day moving average like ANF did off of its earnings report. So ANF actually giving you a nice little potential dip buy opportunity here on a high volume close. This could give you a good little dip and an opportunity to ride it back up. I am watching ANF for my swing account, but coming back to showing you what CRM is doing, I mean, it didn't even do what ANF did. It didn't pop into the 200-day moving average and then sell off. It just sold off on a very tiny pop. So not the most exciting name to watch for a day trade tomorrow. Next one, we got C3AI, and that actually looks a little interesting because of the daily chart and the after hour move. So let me quickly delete some of my lines and throw in a line on the daily chart right there. I'm guessing some of that move is honestly based because of the NVDA and not even C3AI's earnings report. But it's not my job to guess things like that. Only thing that matters is if the stock can get above that level and show buying above that level. Very similar to look at that, the midpoint of the earnings candle ended up being support later on also. So looking for the stock to show support and stay above 25 tomorrow on any dips, at which point you could potentially look long for a potential move into 200-day moving average. So if we're above 25, I'm interested in a long. If we're not above 25, then don't really care about what happens on this name tomorrow. Might not even care about shorting it, because this is way too much of moving averages in this area, way too many levels in this area for me to care about. For a clean moves to the south side is just not the best trade for me. So we'll be careful to the shorts. If for the longs, 25, closer to 25 for a move into 27. Okay, Elf Beauty, they said they were gonna buy out Hailey Bieber's company for $1 billion. I mean, what in the world? Is that company even worth $1 billion? I know Rihanna's company got sold for like crazy amount of money, maybe the same amount of money, but I didn't know Hailey Bieber's company was worth that much amount of money. I mean, insane. But hey, I'm not wearing these cosmetics and so on, so I wouldn't actually know how much each one of these costs and how much they're actually worth, or at least the brand value of her and her products and so on. At the end of the day, I guess that deal, along with their earnings report, giving the stock a little bit of a pump right back up into today's high. Not bad. I'm guessing earnings move or the market move potentially helping it back too. The original earnings move was actually to the downside. So let me quickly go scan what happened with the report. 332 versus 327 beat. 78 cents versus 72 cents beat. Overall revenue only of 4%, not the best number you want to see. However, they are making 71 points profit on each product, or overall products, I guess. The company ended the quarter with 148.7 million in cash and equivalents and 256 million dollars in debt outstanding. In this dynamic environment, okay, blah 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 blah. They did buy Hailey Bieber's. Deal includes 600 million in cash and 200 million of stock at closing, as well as potential earnest consideration of up to 200 million based on future growth of over 300 period, a 3-year period. Sorry. Rode further diversifies our portfolio with our fast growing brand that makes the best of prestige accessible. Whatever. I've never even heard of this brand before, and you're telling me it's worth all that? Okay. Okay, so Elf Beauty, anyways, at the time of the report, you guys saw it flushed initially and then popped back up. The daily chart doesn't really excite me either. The intraday move doesn't excite me either. The earnings move doesn't excite me right now also. You could say simple move above 93, but then, you know, I'm not expecting it to get above 100 and stay above 100 tomorrow. That report is not that exciting, and I wouldn't be surprised if the stock has a pretty high PE. 53. I mean, the last company was in the 40s, so this is in the 50s. So not in the red, expensive, right? That's all I care about. No, it's 53 is still pretty expensive. It's below a 200-day moving average, a declining 200-day moving average. Never a good signal over there. So you know, you could always wait for the stock to reclaim its 200-day and then look for a long setup. But this one just not the best setup at the moment for us to look for a day trade, for a swing trade. You know, I'd just much rather not even be interested for this one, especially when you have semiconductor stocks reporting and moving all over the board. So gotta keep an eye out for those bad boys. Allegiant Technologies also reporting today after hours. Let's actually go see if they made a move at all to begin with. If they did, then potentially we care about it. They did make a decent move, so 111 to 118 on very light volume. So breaking previous range high. I'm guessing that's still below the 200-day moving average, but still getting above previous ranges highs, and somewhere in this area you could potentially see you know, support being formed around this range to get long if the report is bullish. I'm not gonna spend too much time reading the report right now. It's already 8:45 and I've only gone through like what, 4 or 5 stocks over here. We have a lot of names to talk about, so gonna quickly just talk about possible scenarios. We did get a gap up over here, or not gap up, a pop up in the after hours on what seems to be on a green earnings report. Make sure that you are spending the time to read the report yourself to form your own biases. But as long as the stock is showing support above this 116 115 line that I'm kind of drawing out at the moment, I think looking long close to that area is not a wrong idea at all. But if we're not holding above that, then there's just simply no long at all, right? You got to be careful how you're playing out on that name. So I'm just gonna quickly put in 117 as an inflection level for myself on A. Next stock reporting earnings today, S. You better have moved for me, S, or I'm going to quickly walk away. Ooh, big move to the downside on S over here. So they actually dropped to 1688. That's almost right back to somewhere in these areas. So that's a pretty decent drop on S on what seems to be a positive earnings report, but maybe bad guidance. So if the market, let's say we gap up on the market and the market spending the rest of the day actually pulling back, market's still potentially closing green, but just because so many people are taking profits, market's basically going below the day's open and closing below the day's open. Very much a possibility. If that's happening, then a name like S should be on your watch list for a day trader because it's selling off, and if the market's pulling back, this is the name that could really accentuate a sell-off to the downside. But if the earnings report is good, then you might want to be careful fighting that short. So make sure you're reading the earnings report on your own time. I just don't have enough time to talk about the earnings report at the moment. However, that sell-off in the after hours is pretty obvious. So if we are below 17 tomorrow, which right now it looks like we reclaimed in the after hours, you can see you have a box between 17 to 1750. So if it's above 1750, maybe there's just no shorts tomorrow. But if the stock does get back below 17 tomorrow, there could be a bigger move south side. So Sentinel, potentially something to keep an eye out for. I'm not sure I'm gonna keep that close of an eye on that name. Pure Storage, PSTG. Last time I traded this name, I think it was somewhere here. I remember it going absolutely bonkers. So let's go check PSTG's after hour move. Zilch, dead, nada. But that is a pretty good setup over here for the swing account. If PSTG does get above $57, might be interesting to keep an eye out for the swing account. Nice little tight flag above the 200-day moving average, showing support above the 200-day, and a breakout above that flag showing strength above $57. Could just potentially take the stock to 60, 70 in the swing term scale, and giving you a very good risk to reward trade to take advantage of. So earnings report, gotta read what the report is. I'm gonna have to put a number over here so I make sure that I read the report for myself. Color that one orange. I'm gonna color this one also orange. And keep an eye out for that one. SNPS, another one reported. Ooh, they dropped even before they reported. SNPS selling off into the close before the earnings report, almost like somebody knew something and they said no thank you, we want to take advantage of the move before the market sells off and you know, take advantage of our profits. But it looks like they were wrong overall because the stock actually bounced from there on out and moved actually right back to the south, to the north side. So maybe the seller over here was absolutely wrong on the information they had, and now they're going to fight their insider who gave them the information to take this selling opportunity. Anyways, not sure what exactly happened to the downside over there. Maybe a news move. Oh, potentially the whole Trump move with the semiconductors that happened, possibly affecting that a little bit. But besides that, I mean, you know, earnings report. This is a $500 name, usually automatically turned off when I see a name this expensive. You know, if I do want to trade expensive names like that, I can always trade Microsoft, Meta. I'm not gonna say Google or anything, like, you know, some of the more expensive names out there, I could always just go trade them instead. So SNPS potentially not even worth for me on the day trade scale. A couple stocks reporting tomorrow pre-market to potentially keep an eye on. I'm not sure I'm going to keep an eye on these ones as close, but for sure they report, so gotta keep on the watch list. Best Buy, FUTU, China name, Futu. This could have a nice little breakdown below 104, 105 for a move down on a bad earnings report. That is, you know, really good to know if you're looking for a short, such as Sentinel 1. If market selling off, look at this name. I'm not gonna put that over here, but you know, Futu, so keep an eye on that one. Burlington doesn't really do a lot of volumes for how expensive it is, so it is a little bit of a turn off. You know, the spread's going to be nasty, but reporting pre-market, keep an eye out for it. Here come the more important stocks that are on the watch. These are not earnings names, but these are earnings sympathy names that have a very good daily chart setup along with it. So yeah, it's the NVDA earnings sympathy, but these stocks have a very good daily chart, which will bring in a lot of different time frame traders. You're gonna get the swing traders, the investors, the hedge funds, all the people who previously thought semiconductor sector is going to take a hit. They're now seeing NVIDIA basically saying, hey, we're growing by 70% a year still. We're not taking a hit anytime soon. So all things combined, even with the China ban for the H20s, we're still making money, crazy amounts of money. So if hedge funds and investors are looking to put their money to work, this is where some of these stocks are going to be, this is where some of their money is going to be deployed into. So ARM, AVGO, for example, there was a reason why I took AVGO long today. Granted, I was $1 above my breakout level, but I think I combined the daily chart along with the intraday chart for my swing account, right? So the daily chart 260.50, the intraday chart was 270.50 right here, 237.50, and the daily chart was 236.50. So just $1 above, I found a cleaner setup, I guess. You could say the cleaner setup was down here, honestly, but just above, finding a cleaner setup and taking advantage of a nice move over here in the after hours, thanks to NVIDIA and so on. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if AVGO is above all-time high tomorrow with that sympathy trade. You know, and I called out this setup for you guys last few days ago, and I kept saying keep an eye out for it. AVGO has just yet to even report their earnings report. Okay, yet to report their earnings report also. So a couple semiconductor names over there I'm watching. You could say, you know, AMD, MRVL, MU, but guys, these stocks are still below their 200-day moving averages. Throw them in the garbage. You know how much it hurts me to say throw AMD in the garbage, but sadly, the market's 2% away from all-time highs. If your positions have not reclaimed the 200-day moving average, throw them in the goddamn garbage. They're not worth your time. They're not worth your money, right? It's just simply not. It's a headache. If your position is looking like this when the market's 3% away from all-time highs, and your position is looking like this above the 200-day or looking like this near the 200-day, that's a good setup right there. Get ready to take advantage of that potential bull market run-up. So scan for stocks. You know, you can use very simple scanners like AVG or like Finviz. Set up a very simple scanner that stocks are near 200 or above 200 or below 200, whatever your requirements are. If you guys are interested in the tools that I actually use to scan for stocks, it's basically in my description below, in the Linktree page in the description below. Go check it out. All my affiliate sponsors, you know, Benzinga Pro, TraderSync, Trade Ideas, Trade Insight, Flash Research, all these awesome tools that I use on a day-to-day basis to help me find stocks, scan stocks, read the news about it, quick little halt alerts over here, other important news information about the stock or statistics in general. So using all available tools that I can to make the most educated guess, and still sadly shit the bed when it comes to trading Pinduoduo today. Boy oh boy, that still haunts me. How could you lose money shorting Pinduoduo when the stock was down 5% on the day, Prad? How bad are you? This is the sad part about day trading versus swing trading that I'm realizing, is that, you know, if you're day trading, the market just tries to jabate you, and if you are a person who gets jabated easily, me, you get jabated way too quickly on these little moves here and there. But if you're a swing trader, you know, you kind of have a plan, you have a system, you took the breakout, you have a stop, everything's planned out, You're just letting the system play out at this point. Who cares what happens, right? You just let the system play out. Either you take a full system loss, or the system pays you and you make 3 times, 5 times, 10 times your risk to reward. So it's just like, oh my god, swing trading is just so much easier, so much better. But honestly, that's just an excuse, right? At the end of the day, it's an excuse. Had I traded Pinduoduo slightly better, I know what to do. It's just doing stupid things, making me lose on this name. Thankfully, green on the day still, right? You know, your boy might be bad at day trading, but he's still good enough to scrape out a green day thanks to other trades and other positions. It's just really tilting to see a stock down 5% and you were short on that name all day and still ended up red on that symbol. How bad are you? Tonight we feast thanks to NVIDIA. Yes, Chris. I love it. Is that Peking duck? Is that what it's called? I'm not sure if that's what it's called or not. But Peking duck, boy oh boy, he's eating nice. Shout out to NVIDIA earnings report. I guess, wow, even some of the big boys over here are talking about how they're buying NVIDIA off the earnings report. I bought NVIDIA to add some leverage after seeing your tweet around 3:30. That's pretty interesting, okay? How's the duck perfection? Ah, so it is duck. I got it right. Awesome. Peking duck. Ah, I was right. Never had Peking duck before. I don't know what it tastes like. Okay. I mean, pretty interesting. You know, this guy nailed the call out. He said NVIDIA is going to have a partnership with Saudi Arabia, and that's exactly how it played out. Almost like insider information. Who knows? Right? He nailed that call out, and now I think today actually they were having a stream today on Dumb Money TV, which I don't know if I'm following or not. I am. They were having a stream today on Dumb Money TV, and I'll be honest, I wasn't really listening to the whole stream, so I don't know what exactly they were talking about. But if I was to speculate what they were talking about, it was ChatGPT. At least that was what I saw based on these few snippets that I saw later on. So I'm guessing Chris and company is extremely bullish on ChatGPT and you know, the power of AI and just how AI could you know, basically ruin humanity. No, I'm joking. How AI is helping out humanity in every single way so far, and just booming every aspect of our lives. You know, it's just great. Gotta love it. So Dumb Money, man. Chris, shout out to you and your call out on NVIDIA. You nailed that long, and I'm nailing that long too now. I was just a little bit late. Coming back to my watch list. Where is it? Where's my watch list? Coming back to my watch list, DKS, ANF, and some of the other names that reported earnings. These are on the watch list, but that doesn't mean that these are high priority names, okay? So ARM, higher priority, AVGO, higher priority. As you guys know, if you've been watching me, purple names are the highest priority, orange names are a little bit of a lower priority. So purple names, semiconductors at the moment. AVGO, you could I guess it's because it's already gapped up so much. I'm not sure it's that important for the old levels. I'm just gonna leave the levels for the semiconductors alone because I want to see how the market behaves in the overnight market and in the pre-market tomorrow before I map out some levels on that side. So moving on from semiconductors, coming back to DKS. Yeah, I'm not really sure I'm going to be trading DKS tomorrow, but there could be some opportunities there. ANF, I don't think ANF should get below today's low. If it does get below today's low, that is a little sad, honestly. So this is almost the perfect gap close. Ideally, you want to see ANF pushing back into this halfway point of $96 and then getting back above that $96 area. The report wasn't bad, at least from what I remember reading. Their report wasn't bad. So if they are trading below 88, it's just no more long on ANF, and this will be important for me for the swing account too. Not that I own them, but I am looking to buy some ANF for the swing account. Yes, I know I just preached about how you don't want to buy stocks below 200-day moving average, but I've seen what the stock has done before. Peaking. It's peaking, not pecking. Okay, I didn't know that. Gotcha. Look, I'm not acquainted to the fancy lifestyle yet. Maybe once I'm a multi-millionaire and actually start making all the crazy amounts of money that day trading and the trading lifestyle promises to people. Once I actually start bringing that in, then I'll be acquainted to peaking duck, not pecking duck. Hold up, I was supposed to do something here. I need to find the channel where Wolves are playing tonight, just because I want to see the score. And mute the stream, please. Okay, awesome. Is that stream on or not on? It is on. Okay, awesome. Octa making a pretty big move down today and then selling lower after I thought it would pop, on a good report. I thought it would go higher, but it actually managed to break the lows. So very surprising. I'll be honest, I don't know what to do with this name. It is very expensive on the PE side, so maybe that is something to keep an eye out for. If it does pop tomorrow to this halfway marker and not able to get above it, that is potentially worth keeping an eye out for the short. I'm actually going to quickly turn on my markers. I want to see what that label is. 108.65. So I'm just gonna put in 108.65 as an inflection level for me to keep an eye out for, but low priority tomorrow. This one is going in the blue area, even lower priority. Box didn't have the most bullish close, so 36.35 will be important. I'm just gonna say 36. Either you stay above 36 tomorrow or I don't care about you. Pinduo Duo could give you a 3-bar play on the daily chart. That means it needs to basically get below today's low slash yesterday's low, which is the earnings low. It's basically 97.50, 97.32. You can just say 97.30 or even 97. So if Pinduo Duo is bringing in selling below 97, that is basically a 3-bar play on the daily chart, which is not bad at all. So selling below 97.30 is good, but not good enough. You want to see selling below 97. Sellers actually saying, you know what, I want to get rid of my shares. Or short sellers coming in saying, I want to take new entries here below 97 because I think the stock is going to go much lower. So Pinduo Duo could be interesting around 97. Either it's above it or it's below it. So watching that one. And then obviously the big names tomorrow, Tesla, Meta, Microsoft, all of these names are going to be going higher. I got to keep an eye out for Robinhood for my swing account ad. But that's about it for my swing account. I guess I'm watching Pure Storage. I'm watching Robinhood for my swing account. Maybe even C3 AI. But I'll be honest with you, I'm not watching C3 AI. I don't like to buy companies that I don't know what they're doing. And C3 AI is in that basket. Sadly, when you do think like that, you miss out on moves like this. On the moves like Jagger. So what a monster move on Dave over here. No clue what this company does. But when you have a strong opinionated mindset like I do, you miss out on these awesome trades right there. $86 and now at $214. Oh boy. Sometimes you just gotta not care about what the company does and just care about how good is the chart setup. That's the only thing you need to care about. Final two things that we're going to talk about on this stream tonight is basically the econ calendar and the IPO calendar. I think IPO calendar is basically dead. Oh, some new entries on the IPO calendar. We got, is that today? So that doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. So yeah, pretty useless on the OKC is up 23-7 in the first quarter. Minnesota only has 7 points in the first quarter. What? Well, I guess it's going to be OKC versus Indiana Pacers, ladies and gentlemen. SGA versus Pascal Siakam. Let's see it. That's going to be a pretty interesting matchup. Tyrese Halliburton, I guess is what I should be saying. But Tyrese versus SGA is going to be the matchup. Wow, Ant-Man, Ant-Man, Ant-Man. Not looking good, bro. All right. No IPOs that we're interested about. We did have FOMC minutes today, but the market didn't really react off that FOMC minutes or reacted afterwards to some Trump comments and so on. Tomorrow, we do have a couple 3-star events at 8:30, such as the GDP numbers, the initial jobless claims, the core PCE numbers. Later on in the day, you have the 7-year auction and a Fed member at 4 o'clock. So I guess mainly the 8:30 numbers that you gotta watch out for, and potentially the 12 o'clock number that could move the market. A 7-year bond auction, not something that I've tracked before. It's usually the 10, the 20, the 30s that I look for. But any bond auction you gotta keep an eye out for. Okay, so 8:30 and 12 o'clock. That is the name of the game. It won't be the Knicks. That's damn right, baby. It won't be the Knicks for sure. Shout out Spike Lee. It won't be your team playing in the finals, my boy. Choke. Reggie Miller. Shout out Reggie Miller. Choke. Wow, Minnesota just choked. Oh my god. Okay, I'm gonna go watch this game while I go do dishes and you know, finish off my homework, doing the write-ups of the hottest movers of the day and so on. Obviously, we'll be back tomorrow for the final stream of the day, final stream of the week, looking at stocks that reported earnings like Marvell, Costco, Dell, and so on, Zscaler, Ulta Beauty, Gap, and even American Eagle. So make sure you're tuning in tomorrow, 8 o'clock. We'll have a lot of fun for the final stream of the week, and I'll see you guys next time. Good luck on the market. TraderPrad out. Peace. Good night.
Get ready for the watch list for tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm gonna bring in my big screen over here, back to another brand new week of After the After Hours with your host TraderPrad. I'm doing great. Hopefully you guys are joining me on that great side. Markets are moving around. Might just be a risk on type of day, so let's see what happens. 8 o'clock tomorrow. As you guys know, we do the stream Monday to Thursday, 8 p.m. Shout out to my affiliate sponsors, Benzinga, Trade Ideas, the #1 scanner to go to, Trader Sync, promo code down below, promo code PRAD15 to get 15% off. I will catch you guys tomorrow, 8 o'clock, same time, same place. Until then, TraderPrad out. Adios.